Welcome to my top 10 most anticipated and noteworthy comics for January 31st, 2024. I'm Mike Spider-Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. Hopefully this list does help you make decisions on what comic books to buy, because it's never too early to start that pull list for next week. Alright guys, so before we dive into it, I gotta give a quick shout out to Whatnot. Guys, if you never heard of Whatnot, which I don't know who hasn't at this point or hasn't started an account yet, I have a link in my description box below. Click on the link, it'll take you right to Whatnot, and when you do your first auction, when you win that first auction, you'll get a $15 credit off of your first purchase. So whether you're a collector of comic books, action figures, Hot Wheel cars, whatever it is you collect, why don't you check out Whatnot today? Again, $15 credit off of that first purchase. Okay guys, so here we go, the book that's on the hot seat. And man, I get burnt with these books all the time, but this time it's Dead X-Men. This is issue 1. X-Men has another freaking comic book coming out, and this time death is only the beginning, right? So when the world turned on Krakoa, these particular X-Men have died. Now they've risen from the ashes once again, and can they accomplish Xavier's dream, or will they die once again? So we'll see what happens with this one. Again, I don't have high expectations for this. 28 pages. This one is $5. All right, let's talk about the book that's on the rise. We have Wolverine. This is issue 42. This is Sabretooth War, part 2. So Victor Creed is obviously firsting Wolverine, right? And what happened in this last issue was we got to see all these different Sabretooths from all these different Earths team up with Sabretooth, pay a visit to Krakoa, get revenge on Krakoa, and also try to go after Logan as well. It's a very traditional thing that Sabretooth always visits Wolverine on his birthday, and you got a nice surprise at the end of the last issue. Little gory, little intense. I really loved it. So I can't wait for this next one. 28 pages, and this one is $5. Here we go, kicking off the top 10. We have number 10, Lilo and Stitch. This is issue 1. Who doesn't love Lilo and Stitch, man? This is from Dynamite Comics. I'm specifically getting this one for my wife, as she's a huge fan of Lilo and Stitch, and she's not a comic book fan, but again, she likes those characters. So I want to see what these characters have to offer in the comic book universe, and hopefully it'll be entertaining, and I think this will be a book great for all ages, which is very important in today's comic book world. This is 32 pages, and this one is $4. Moving on to number 9. This dropped on my list. World Tree issue 7. I feel like this book has lost its momentum a little bit when it took its break after issue 5. I was all in, the world shut down, the internet went dark, and then like it picked back up, and I just felt completely lost. I didn't know who the characters were. I'm hoping like things get picked back up where it last left off in the last story arc. I don't know if it will. We'll see what happens. Maybe this is a book better to read in trade. This is 32 pages, and this one is $4. Moving on to number 8, we have Moonman. This is issue 1. This is Image Comics. This is a 32-page comic for $4 as well, about some guy that went to the moon, and there was some footage that wasn't taken, and this guy becomes very famous, I guess. I don't know, seems something different. Why not find out what happened to the man on the moon, right? Who knows? I don't know, maybe some kind of conspiracy theory thing. I like checking out certain independent books, so we'll see what this one has to offer. Coming in at number 7, we have the continuation of World's Finest. This is the 2024 annual. So this is obviously concluding the whole story with Kingdom Come Superman and Batman, Mangog, all that other stuff. And then I guess it's continuing where it last left off in the previous story arc with Metamorpho. So you're going to get those two stories combined here, so it's going to make for a bigger issue. This is 48 pages, and this one is $5. Very consistent book across the board here. Coming in at number 6, we have Jason Aaron's Batman Offworld. This is issue 3. So this is a young Batman who took over this freaking huge-ass spaceship, who was trying to do battle against this crazy alien dude, right? And we met this, like, rip-off Firestar or Starfire. Is it Starfire? Yeah. Chick, right? And they wanted to take over the ship together, and they wound up doing it. The artwork is absolutely awesome. I think Jason Aaron's doing a phenomenal job with this book. So good. 38 pages? No, it's 32 pages for $4. I wish it was 38 pages for $4. Top 5. Here we go, guys. We have The Incredible Hulk. This is issue 8. So this is the conclusion of Hulk's throwdown with World War II Ghost Rider. So it's kind of cool seeing this Ghost Rider protect this particular kid and this particular family when there's danger around. I feel like this story is very much the monster of the week type of storytelling here until we get to the main plot. And it looks like the main plot is going to be Hulk trying to do battle against the leader of all monsters. And obviously there's an ultimatum on the table whether to give up the Hulk monster persona and become Bruce Banner forever. Does he take that? I don't know. But this has been a very interesting book with his supporting character. I think her name is Charlie, who idolizes the Hulk. And yeah, great artwork by Nick Klein here. So this is legacy numbering 789. This is 28 pages. And this one is also $4. There's a lot of $4 books this week. Coming in at number 4, we have a book that I love, but it's so inconsistent in its release date, and that's Dark Ride. This is issue 10. I'm so curious how long this series is going to go on for, just because Jason Aaron's got so much stuff going on. But this is such a great story about this crazy-ass amusement park where it's themed horror, right? It's like Halloween Horror Nights, but the whole park is horror. And there's some bad things that went down. And speaking of bad, there was this person who wound up missing their daughter, and now they're looking for her, and it was kidnapped by the horror mascots. Very interesting story. We wound up seeing the daughter here of the amusement park, the owner, right? She kind of is going with the dark side here. It's just a really good book, man. And it's always hard to remember what happens because there's always such a break between issues. This is a great book to probably reread if you haven't read it in a while. It reads very quick, but I love it. 24 pages, $4. Top 3. Number 3, man, this is tough to choose this week because there's some really good books coming out. But number 3 goes to Duke, issue 2. So issue 1 was great as we got to see Duke suffer this PTSD from seeing Starscream, basically splat his fellow soldier. And he was forced to take time off, and then he did some kind of intelligence situation when it came to when it came to like UFOs and aliens and all this different type of other stuff, right? And he came across this lady that had these certain plans where it happened to contain, right? Like Cobra stuff, like the infancy of Cobra stuff, like vehicles, and you got to see Destro and all these other guys, right? Really great stuff, man. I cannot wait to see how this story continues here. Duke number 2 is 32 pages, and this one is $4. Great story in the Energon universe. Coming in at number 2, we have Avengers Twilight. This is issue 2. So issue 1 was great. This is just a story of the Avengers who are much older. You think that the world is absolutely perfect. There's an Avengers team in their place. Well, that's not the case. Of course, there's something wrong, right? And you wind up getting to see Luke Cage assemble his version of Defenders. They're trying to get Captain America back by giving him the super soldier serum again. It looks like Tony Stark's son is an absolute dick. I mean, it's an absolute blast to read this book. I cannot wait for this second issue. I loved it. This is 40 pages. This is a $5 comic book. All right, guys, so remember, after number 1, we're not done, as we are talking about the noteworthy comic books of the week, because just because I have these 10 comic books on my list, they might not be on yours, and I need to mention some more books for you to put on your pull list. So number 1 this week wound up going to Titans Beast World issue 5. This is the epic conclusion of Beast World. What's going to happen, man? Is Beast Boy going to come back to life? They have to stop all these spores that are out in the earth infecting all these people. Amanda Waller's behind all this bullshit too. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on. And I feel like this is setting up things to come in the DC universe. Probably, in my opinion, the best DC event that's been around in years. And I can't wait for this conclusion. Tom Taylor's done a great job, and I feel like he just does a better job overall when it comes to miniseries. This is 48 pages, and this one is $6. Noteworthy comics. Here we go. Kicking it off, as always, with Marvel. We have Dr. Aphra issue 40, which I never read. I do not like that character. Then we got the Spider books that are out. So we got Spider-Boy issue 3, which I've been really enjoying. We also have the conclusion to Spine-Tingling Spider-Man. This is issue 4. Next, we have Carnage issue 3, which is a shame that's not in my top 10. Really like the first issue. Second issue was like a complete bore fest. We'll see what happens with issue 3. Then we have Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, issue 5. Totally disliked issue 3. I mean, when I say disliked, it wasn't like an above average comic. I was expecting something a little bit more in depth when it came to the 2099 character. It just felt very average, okay? Then we have Gang War tie-in. We have Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, Gang War issue 2. Then we have Marvel Superhero Secret Wars Battle World issue 3. Again, I don't know who else is reading this comic book right now. Then we move on to DC Comics. We have Batman and Robin, the 2024 annual. Then we have an all-new Trinity special, issue 1, so Wonder Woman's daughter here. Then we have this Power Girl Uncovered book. So this is like a bunch of pinup pages. So if you love Power Girl and the way she looks, cover art, stuff like that, this book is for you. Just the cover alone is pretty awesome. Then we have, what is this one? DC Power 2024. This is issue 1. All right, on to the independent comic books. We have King Spawn. This is issue 30. Then we have Conan the Barbarian. This is issue 7. Next, we have the continuation of Local Man. We're on issue 9. Then we have the continuation of Edenwood, issue 4, which this book is just all over the place, man. This is a book you have to read in trade. You can't go a day without reading this particular series. It just throws so much in your face. Then we have this Power Rangers Unlimited, the Morphin Masters. This is issue 1, so old school IP here. And then we have Robotech Rick Hunter, issue 3. So if you're a fan of Robotech, man, back from the 80s or whatnot, there's a book for you. And there you guys have it. There are my top 10 and most anticipated and noteworthy comic books for January 31st, 2024. If there's anything that you're excited for, let me know in the comments below. And if you're looking for more content, here's more content right here, guys. Hopefully you'll check out After Pull. This is the series where I talk about all the comics that I read for the current comic book week. And of course, guys, support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but more importantly, always read those comic books. Guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on New Comic Book Day.